So Imu-sama is actually the very first sun god. In the latest manga chapter, Oda shocked all of us with the revelation of Imu-sama's character. He's not actually a woman like we all thought. It turns out, he's actually a man. Based on Imu's size, it also looks like he's not a normal human. He seems like a giant-like being, possibly connected to the ancient giants or even an unknown race from the Void Century. And this is where the giant straw hat we saw in Mary Geo's comes into play. If you remember, that was also the first time Imu-sama's existence was hinted at in the empty throne chamber, symbolizing that no one should rule the world, yet Imu secretly does. So here's our theory. Imu-sama is the very first sun god Nika, and he was alive and ruling the world even before the Void Century and the rise of the ancient kingdom. He himself is the one shown in the mural of Elbaf, which could be ancient history preserved by the giants. Our proof here is the giant straw hat that was frozen and hidden inside Mary Geo's, which could symbolize a relic of the original sun god and a reminder of Imu's past identity. Technically, he is the one who owned and wore it. This serves as proof that he was once the chosen one, or that he was the sun god Nika at some point in his life before that power was lost, stolen, or passed on during Imu's battle against the demon before Void Century. He encountered a problem when the demon possessed his body. Similar to what Imu has done to others or the shadowy transformations we've seen in Mary Geo's, it's possible that the original demon fused with Imu's body. Some deeper theories suggest that this demon might actually be the origin of devil fruits, or even tied to the sea devil mentioned in One Piece lore. Meaning, Imu is both the original sun god and the original demon shown in the mural, representing both liberation and corruption in one being. As months, years, and centuries passed, Imu realized that to live longer, he needed to physically possess a pure body or someone with a clean heart and conscience, similar to immortality methods hinted through the Op no Mi eternal youth surgery, or even something darker like forced soul transfer. That's why every century, he searches for this kind of person to use as a vessel. He continued doing this until 800 years ago, during the time leading into the Void Century. At that time, Imu was shocked because just like him, someone wearing a straw hat and becoming the chosen one who ate the sun god Nika devil fruit, another similar person appeared, and this was Joy Boy. This also aligns with the idea that devil fruits have a will of their own and can choose their user. Because Imu didn't want anyone like him, or he wanted to be the only chosen sun god in the world, the original demon inside him took over, amplifying his jealousy and fear of being replaced. He then gathered the strongest kingdoms in the world. He united the 20 kingdoms to form a conspiracy to kill Joy Boy, which we all know succeeded and eventually led to the creation of the world government. This war may also be the true event behind the Void Century that the world government is trying to erase. Later on, Nefertari Lily discovered the lies of Imu. She realized that Joy Boy's intentions were actually good and righteous, possibly connected to freedom and the ancient kingdom's true ideals. She knew she had made a mistake. Instead of joining the 20 kingdoms to live in Mary Geo's, Lily chose to break away from the formation of the world government, making her the only royal family that refused to become celestial dragons, which is a huge red flag in itself. Since Lily already knew the truth about Imu's evil, he decided not to let her go. He made her his vessel, transferring himself into her pure body. That's why the Imu-sama we always see isn't actually his original body. That is the body of Nefertari Lily, and the real Imu-sama is hiding inside her, possibly explaining why Lily's name was mysteriously erased or altered in historical records like the poneglyphs. Now, if this is really the scenario, we move to some loopholes or possible questions about this theory. First, how did Imu become the first sun god? What evidence do we have? When Imu arrived in Elbaf, we immediately saw the evidence. First, the houses and trees turned into demons and started laughing. If you remember, what was Who's description of the sun god Nika? He said that Nika brings laughter and joy to free people from their suffering. And that's exactly what happened when Imu arrived in Elbaf. He brought laughter and joy to his surroundings, but in a distorted and unnatural way, almost like forced happiness. Another piece of evidence is the music in the environment. There was background music when Imu appeared. And where did we first see this? With Luffy. When he transformed into the sun god Nika through Gear 5, the drums of liberation started playing, suggesting that sound, rhythm, and heartbeat are deeply connected to this power. Imu having a similar effect could mean he once possessed the same ability. And lastly, the confusion among the giants about whether the sun god Nika is good or evil. If you remember in the early chapters of the Elbaf arc, many giants argued about whether the sun god Nika is good or bad. For us viewers, the answer is obviously that Nika is good, since that's Luffy and Joy Boy. But what if the confusion among the giants comes from real ancient knowledge passed down through generations? What if there are actually two sun gods Nika, one true and pure, which is Joy Boy and Luffy, and one corrupted or fallen version, which is Imu-sama? That would mean both sides of the giants are correct. There is a liberator sun god and a tyrant sun god, two sides of the same legend. For those still confused about what I mean by Imu being possessed by the original demon and taking Lily's body, let's clarify it further. Around 1,000 years ago, as seen in the mural, Imu, who was the first sun god, fought the demon. He managed to defeat it. But later on, the demon fused with him through a devil's contract. Because of this, the bodies of the first sun god and the demon became one, possibly creating the foundation of all devil fruit powers, since Imu could no longer fully control his body after being possessed, similar to what happened to King Harold, where he lost control of himself. This explains his unstable nature, shifting personality, and godlike yet sinister presence. As for Imu taking Lily's body, the best example is Gunko, or similar vessel-based theory. As we all know, this character is believed to have had a true identity, the princess known by Brook. Because of the devil's contract placed on her by Imu, her original identity disappeared, and she became someone else entirely. Even though that body no longer belongs to the princess but to a new identity, Imu was still able to possess it. So the same logic applies to the demon and the first sun god. The demon possessed the body of the sun god, and since their physical bodies cannot live forever, they began transferring between bodies, creating a cycle of immortality and control over history itself. Later on, 800 years ago, the body of Lily was chosen. And since that vessel is now nearing its limit, they need a new body, Vivi, who shares the same bloodline, making her the perfect next vessel and possibly the reason why she is currently being targeted. So, I hope I explained this theory clearly and that you understood it. I know the popular theory right now is about love, that Imu and Joy Boy were both in love with Lily. But to give you a different flavor and a new perspective, we created this theory that Imu is the first sun god and that the original demon resides within him, connecting the origins of devil fruits, the void century, and the hidden ruler of the world. And this also explains why there is a giant straw hat in Mary Geos, because it originally belonged to Imu himself, the first sun god. So if you enjoyed this theory about Imu and his revealed appearance, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. So that's it for today.